be in both worlds. And if you're trying to look into the world beyond the world of law, with the rules of the world of law, you can't see it. Can you hear above 20,000 hertz? Can you hear above that? Can a dog? Can you hear as deep a tone as a whale? No. Does the tone exist? Can you hear the Schumann resonance, which is the sound of the earth turning? It would be really annoying, wouldn't it? It's like, did somebody just oil the bearings for God's sake? If not for God's sake, at least for my sake. Schumann resonance, 7.83 hertz, cycles per second. A C sharp, 19 degrees above C sharp. 8 octaves below the audible level. The human DNA, a G sharp sharp. Massive numbers above the human capacity to hear. And they just figured this out in the human genome. What did Plato and Pythagoras say all those years ago about harmonic intervals? The most pleasant of all harmonic intervals is the harmonic fifth. What is the human G sharp sharp to the earth C sharp sharp? A harmonic fifth. So the planet Earth is perfectly tuned, even like a musical instrument, to the human system. Things work. You ever thought of how the moon doesn't skip? The sun is constant. The Earth's spin is exact. Didn't that ever, cross your mind when you're wondering, why doesn't this work? Whatever the this is. Maybe it is working, but maybe you're looking at the part of it that isn't working. Let me ask you a question, and then we'll go to yoga, as if this wasn't, right? I was trying to find a chord that didn't sound good. How many in here would say that chord, and come on, I know some of you jazz musicians will go, man, that is such a cool chord. Because it'll resolve, won't it? But how many of you would write an entire piece because this is such a beautiful chord? And expect million record sales. Mm-hmm. Is the whole chord wrong? No. Ah. That part of the chord could work, couldn't it? But you add So it's not always, is it? It's not always everything. It's not always, this isn't working. It is always, let's figure out what part of this moment is missing a particular harmonic interval. Say it. Harmonic interval.
Harmonic interval.
How can I create a harmonic interval? If, let's say that phone numbers were 6 digits, and you hear phone tone, don't you? And let's say this was your phone number. Okay? Would this call get through to you? It's not the same number. You didn't even hear that in there, did you? So if you can't always hear what's wrong, and any time you do hear what's wrong, you think it's wrong, what if it was only a slight piece of the total picture? And if this could open a doorway in your world, that if you just got one little piece of your life to work in a slightly different harmonic interval, that suddenly doors would open. Like doo 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 doo. And you keep going doo doo dee doo doo. Nothing happens. Doo doo dee doo doo. Nothing happens. And what do you say? This doesn't work. Or worse yet, I don't know how to. So have I disassembled most of your beliefs? Because that's what we just passed through. And that's what we are in now to recuperate. We just passed through Mercury in retrograde for 3 weeks. From the 6th of February to the 28th of February. And it was what they call in Sanskrit, doozy. You're going, I don't know if that's Sanskrit. And so a lot of things can be disassembled during the retrograde period and the tail period, because right now we're in the tail. And what I want you in the tail period is start, now that we're at a new moon, this new moon is the planting of seeds for what you want to change from what you disassembled. It's all called an alteration. So this is a really wonderful moment. This is a wonderful moment. Your belief system out there on the garage floor in pieces. How do you want to reassemble it to make it the way it works for you? How do you want to connect with everyone? Either here or beyond here. How do you want to connect with everything? Either actual or virtual. Everything that you want to have your life work with. Do we have